Hi everyone, this is going to be our first class in Mastering SQL from basic to advanced. In this class, we'll try to understand what exactly SQL is and how the SQL environment looks like. So before directly jumping to the SQL part, let us try to understand few terms associated with it, like what is in database, what is in database management system, what is in relational database management system, and what are tables. So now let us try to understand first what exactly is in database. So to understand database, let's take a very simple example. Let's say there are four friends A, B, C, and D. These four friends decided to start a company called as XYZ. In this, A looks after technology, B looks after marketing, C looks after business, and D looks after, let's say, customer support. Now, since they have started a company, obviously there will be some sort of data associated with it. Now we know that the basic form of storing a data is Microsoft Excel. So all of these people are also storing their data into Microsoft Excel. Now after 3 months, they have decided to do an audit of the company so that they can understand what's working and what's working not for them. So at the end of 3 months, the person who was looking after tech end up with having 7 to 8 Excel files. The person who was looking after marketing ends up having 10 to 12 different Excel files, and similarly for business and the customer support person. Now, eventually, they have 40 to 45 Excel file altogether. Now, to do the audit, the first thing they'll have to do is either they'll have to combine all these 45 Excel files into one master Excel sheet, or they'll have to work on these 45 Excel files parallelly, which is a time consuming job. So, what they decided to transfer all this data onto an electronical server. So, basically, now what they are going to do is they will not store this data into Excel files. They decided to move all this data onto a server. So now they are storing their complete data onto an electronical server. And friends, this data, when stored onto an electronical server, is referred as an database. So in short, if we have to define database, database is nothing but an electronical server which is storing some sort of data, or when data is being stored systematically onto a computer system or electronically onto a computer system, that is referred to as a database. So let's say you have some sort of data, and rather than storing them into Excel files or offline onto your computer system, you started storing somewhere onto the some your server or onto the network of your computer system. Indirectly, you have created a database. Now, I hope we have a clear understanding what exactly is database. Now, in this, there are two things. One is DBMS and another one is RDBMS. Let's try to understand what's exactly DBMS and what exactly is an RDBMS. Now, let us try to understand what is in DBMS. So basically, DBMS stands for Database Management Systems. We know that in a database, we will store some sort of data and we will fetch the data whenever required. In order to do so, or for this process, obviously, we will require some sort of software or a system. This software or a system which will manage your complete database, and then it may be transferring the data or fetching the data or any process associated with this are referred as in database management systems. So in short, database management systems are the systems or software which will manage your complete database and all the process associated with that. Then there is another term called as an RDBMS, which stands for Relational Database Management System. Relational database management system are nothing but just an advanced version of database management systems. So let's try to understand the difference between DBMS and RDBMS. So DBMS and RDBMS. If you are storing your data in the form of files, if you are storing your data in the form of files, then it is referred as an database management system. So in database management system, whatever the data you are storing, if it is in the form of files, it is in simple database management system. While an RDBMS stores data into tabular form. So if you are storing your data in the form of tables, then you are storing or you're creating a relational database management system. And these tables will have some sort of relationship with each other, and hence the name relational database management system. This is the major difference between a database management system and a relational database management system. So let's quickly revise. Database management system storing data in the form of files, while relational database management system storing data in the form of tables. I hope now we have a clear understanding like what is in database, what is in database management system, what is in relational database management system. Now let us try to understand what exactly is in SQL. SQL. Now let us try to understand what exactly SQL is. So basically SQL stands for structured query language. So let's go back to our example where we were storing data into Excel. To interact with this data, we'll have to interact with or we'll have to type some Excel formulas like VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, count sum, and many more. But what we decided? We decided to store this complete data electronically into a database. Now, to interact with database, we will require some sort of language which can be understood by the computer system. This language is nothing but your SQL. So basically, SQL or structured query language is the language which is used to interact with the database in order to fetch the data or in order to transfer the data so that we can do our jobs efficiently. So let's try to sum up everything in a nutshell. We have a database or we created a database. Then there are two different things like one is DBMS and another is an RDBMS. In DBMS, we store data into the files or unstructured format, while in RDBMS, we store data into the tabular format. To interact with this, we have a language called as an SQL. Now, in the coming video, we'll try to understand what are the different type of DBMS, what are the different type of RDBMS, then what exactly comes under SQL. Then there are many more things like NoSQL, PostgreSQL. We'll try to understand the difference between them, and then we'll install the different or some of the RDBMS and start practicing on it. So I hope now we have a clear understanding of all the concepts like what is in database, RDBMS, DBMS, tables, and SQL. In the next class, we'll install some of the RDBMS and we'll deep dive into the concepts of SQL. That's it for today's class, and I hope you have enjoyed this. Let's meet in the next class.